Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR Today. It's Tuesday morning, September 27th, 2022. The man they call Meathead. And Linda K., you're still recouping from the weekend down in the Ville?
Yes, and concerts and yoga
I
and
guess I was going to ask you, will you rock? Or did you will rock?
I will rocked. Yes, I did.
By the way, it's not a Milwaukee radio station, but probably my favorite radio station is 95.1 WIIL, Will Rock, the rock station.
I mean, WIIL, Wisconsin, Illinois, pretty much smack centered between Milwaukee, Chicago.
Yep. They play, if I were to have a station that matched up with me, JJO can be too heavy sometimes. Will Rock is right there for me.
Yes. Longevity. It was the 30-year anniversary show I was at this past weekend. Once upon a time, I was one of the Will Rock girls, so it was great.
Hey, wait. How many rock girl stations were you the rock girl for?
Just two. I was not a JJO rock girl. They had them as well, but no, okay. I was at good old Laser 103 as well in Milwaukee.
I miss Laser 103. Yeah, I know we have 102.9 The Hog, but I miss Laser 103.
Good times.
Linda, as I was asking you if you're recouping from the weekend of the Will Rocking and the wrestling, you sure you weren't at any record stores in Corbin, Kentucky?
I was not, but if you watched closely during Raw last night, there was a reference to that. That's insane. That's crazy. Because I was just near Corbin, Kentucky.
Okay, well, before we get into it, and Uncle Al, let's talk about Uncle Al and the sponsor.
That would be Collar and Elbow. As always, make sure to check out the latest and greatest in wrestling street fashions by going to collarandelbowbrand.com, and to save a little extra cash, to save 10% off your order, use promo code LindaK. That's LINDAKAY.
So we've been really all very into, not just you, me, Matthew, the PWR family, but really the wrestling world has been very into the White Rabbit stuff going on in WWE. Let's talk about the video before we get into Raw. The QR code did flash on the screen for those that saw it when Dominic started making his way into the ring with a chair in hand. The screen glitched. QR code. If you zapped it, you got a new video. This time, it was one of those videos where you take a word that everybody says and kind of make your own thing.
Little montage.
A montage. Can I get a montage? It was a montage featuring some folks, the likes of Uncle Al Snow, John Cena, the Road Dogg, Randy Orton,
The Rock,
so many different, and a really creepy voice that said, "You did." Linda, the video. Tell me your thoughts.
Number one, I thought it was great. I was just a drive down memory road, if you will, nostalgia, seeing some of my favorites of pro wrestling growing up put together in a fun montage. I love montages because they
can I get
funny.
A montage?
Yes.
Montage. Do you know the song?
Yee.
It's South Park.
Oh,
they performed it at Red Rocks at that 25th anniversary. They performed the montage song.
Yeah. Oh, we got a great montage last night on Raw. I loved it.
Welcome back to WWE TV, Uncle Al.
Yes. I know between you, me and Matthew, we had to, a little conversation about that clue, and I had to say it's great to see Uncle Al featured on Raw again. So that was really cool to see. But yeah, just another great clue. So going off last week's clue on SmackDown that gave the coordinates for Edmonton, it basically gave the clue of you'll get your next clue in Edmonton, but the coordinates this time. Now, you had mentioned
the coordinates did lead to something in Italy. A Google Maps picture of a house-wide bunny on the ground. So the coordinates somewhere in Italy is a picture of a huge, like I said, acre-wide bunny.
Could this be the next clue on SmackDown? Because Giovanni Vinci is on SmackDown. Well-known Italian, newly acquired to SmackDown.
But there was one other thing that you brought up, and it was a zip code. That zip code, Linda, was
40701.
Now, I asked you at the beginning of the program, were you sure that you weren't in Corbin, Kentucky, the home of White Rabbit Records?
All types of crazy things happen on the road, but I do not recall being at White Rabbit Records. However, I did catch that in the clue as well. What's the connection there? Kentucky and Italy. Corbin, who's on SmackDown as
well. Linda K. That was not one pre-discussed before we went on the air. Happy Corbin. Okay. You were just truth bombs on us.
Yes, I was going to say SmackDown's not in Kentucky this week, so.
But they do run Corbin every once in a while.
For SmackDown?
For WWE. WWE has run shows in Corbin, Kentucky.
I wonder if there's no, I would know if there's a house show there this weekend. But all those different
they're running they're running up in the north because they're running SmackDown on Friday is in not Edmonton. They're somewhere else in Canada. And then on Monday, I believe they're hitting the Great White North.
St. Paul.
Minneapolis, St. Paul. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the clues just keep getting more interesting, and we were trying to put the pieces together. We got Italy. We got Corbin, Kentucky. We've got, what was our other guess? We talked about something just a minute ago Giovanni Vinci.
Right, exactly. I tell you, and we just got announcement last night too, before we get into Raw. In 2 weeks, the Bloodline returning to Raw for the season premiere in New York City.
New York City?
Get a rope. All right, Linda, let's talk about Raw. Raw was Raw. And that's it was fun to show. I struggle with the beginning. And I'm struggling with these 6 women who I would love to see individually doing their own thing, but right now they seem to be just tied up with each other. Damage Control, and then the grouping, they're not even a pairing or a team or I don't know what they are, a trio, but it's Asuka, it's Alexa Bliss, and it's the WWE Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair. This time, Team A talks, and then here comes Team B. Team A is going to challenge Team B to a singles match, and there you go. It opens up with Bianca Belair and Io Sky.
I think that Extreme Rules will be the end of the Bianca, Asuka, Alexa connection. I do feel we talked about it yesterday. If said person makes their debut at Extreme Rules with Alexa Bliss still hanging on to the dollar, Lily, I just feel something's gonna happen there because Alexa didn't say.
Do we get some resolution at that point? Because remember the last time we saw those two interact with each other, Alexa turned on said person.
Yes, and I was just gonna say, it's been very odd with Alexa. Like I know she, had her big comeback. She talks about her resurgence and whatnot, but we haven't seen too much of her. She didn't say a word last night, or she didn't get a mic at all last night. Neither did Asuka, but Asuka just seems. I mean, I know it's her personality. It's more bubbly. She seems more lively than Alexa as of late. But again, just having Lily be around a lot more, I just think this is just going to be moving along as we get Bianca Bailey, but I feel there's going to be a disconnect at Extreme Rules. So I think obviously it'll still be that trio of Damage Control going strong, but you had spoke of wanting, individual matches, individual successes between Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa, and I think that's going to happen at Extreme Rules.
Okay, so let's talk about The Miz. And The Miz has a troop of security guards. What were their names again?
The Miz Force.
The Miz Force. So he's got himself a nice little, he's offering him a lot of perks. There's a huge perk package, unspoken role in a movie franchise such as The Marine, like 27. I think it was career advice, which is worth millions already, and all sorts of other little perks in his package. So basically, go find the person who shall not be named and make sure he's gone. Who's the guy? We don't say his name, do we? Of course we do. It's Dexter Loomis. Dexter Loomis is going to find the Miz some way tonight, right?
Oh, we saw him.
All right, let's talk about Seth Rollins making his entrance, and he cuts a very long promo, kind of hyping up the match between Rollins and Riddle at Extreme Rules in a fight pit. This is a WWE / wrestling trope that I've never been a big fan of. We're getting towards Extreme Rules. So what do we see at the end of this match? Oh, Rollins puts on a submission hold. He must have a submission type match coming up.
Yeah, they did mention that. I will say, I mean, I like seeing something different in Rollins' repertoire. He could have easily pinned Ray after the curb stomp, but instead we got the
But on the spider twist.
Peruvian necktie, unique
Peruvian
jiu-jitsu
necktie,
move.
yeah.
So that was different because I don't think any of the other talents use that as a finishing maneuver. I don't think I've ever seen it on WWE programming.
Is that really what it's called? Peruvian necktie?
It's
okay.
a jiu-jitsu choke, yeah. So
not a Colombian necktie, because that's the kind where you don't come back from.
Oh my. I was gonna say like necktie. I was like, oh, is this something outside of wrestling? What am I hearing? And I look and I see, I'm like, oh, it's a unique submission there. I think I can appreciate that. I like that there's something going toward the fight pit match at Extreme Rules. I think that now when Riddle gets to one up Rollins, that he does a curb stomp just to kind of counteract.
Just show him that he can, go, physical.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So during this match, we had Dominic and Mysterio come out to distract Rey Mysterio. That's when the QR code popped. And really, Dominic continuing to, really mess with the head of Rey Mysterio by offering him the chair. Rhea Ripley came out of the crowd, attacked Rey. When are we going to get to the point? I'm not advocating for, say, intergender matches, but when are we going to get to the point? When is Rhea having a match with a man? I mean, because she continues to attack over and over, and there are no women that are on her level. She's got to get in matches with the other guys.
I don't know if they're going to do it. Who would she face?
Whoever. I mean, if we open up Pandora's box, I mean, she'd face whoever she faces. She could have a match with Rey. She could have a match with AJ Styles. She could have a match with, whoever.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon. I think they're really going to milk the whole mommy poppy story with Dominic. I mean, she's pretty much got a leash on him, but you don't see it. But
well,
that's
a good woman will do that to you. Let's talk about the team of Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano. What was their team name, Linda? Panda Express.
The story of them wanting to team overseas, I believe that's what it was.
Yeah, they were bonding, and then they because of their love of panda. So they're the Panda Express, which isn't, cheap takeout food. Panda Express is Johnny Gargano and Kevin Owens. They take on the team of the Alpha Academy.
It was the finishing maneuver in the orange chicken.
It's possible. Sweet and sour, a cream of some young guy. So, thank you. I'll be here all week. Did you know that Otis has a last name? Chad Gable and Otis? What is Otis's last name? Did we hear it tonight? Because I see it listed in my notes. I wrote it down, but I can't remember if I looked it up or Dozovic.
They said his last name is Dozovic on Raw last night.
Now, I haven't confirmed it. Go back and listen to it. But Dozovic is, because isn't Otis a Polish power as well?
I mean, he's from Wisconsin. There's a big Polish community here.
That's right. All right. So Gable and Otis took on the Panda Express, and the Panda Express with the big win over Gargano and Gable. They had the one final beat from Johnny Gargano. Now, fallen security guards all throughout the building. Again, we see Panda Express walking by, security guards laying on the ground. We see AJ Styles walking past security guards laying on the ground. Finn Balor clapping a hand on AJ's shoulder and still trying to get into AJ's head. Is AJ Styles going to join the Judgment Day? Well, before that, we're going to see Omos walking backstage with Montavious Porter take us to break. And here comes Austin Theory to kind of go off on the Alpha Academy. And, it's funny because Chad Gable said that he had, some big monster among monsters, a big 2-ton goofball that really tore up Otis. Austin Theory gets a phone call and goes, Chad, it's for you. This was unique. It was Braun Strowman on the phone saying, I'm a 2-ton dummy, huh? I'll see you next week.
And the best was Chad Gable answering the phone. I forgot what he said as like his sophistication or something, but he was like, Jello, like cello, Jello. I don't know.
Jello. That was great. I'll one-up you on that when he goes, shush. Shush. He tries to half-heartedly shush Braun Strowman on the phone.
Oh, great.
Good stuff.
Jinx.
Hey, so Omos took on a couple local talents, and he won by pinfall with 1 foot.
He's a huge man.
He's a big man. Hey, so Miz stumbled upon the Miz corpse, and they were all laid out in a pile so neatly, like their arms were folded into some sort of letter that I couldn't tell. Now, there is they're in Edmonton, so obviously it was Oilers, Hall of Fame kind of stuff around, and there's like a life-size hockey. Oh, that's our boy, the man who shall not be named underneath the gear. I love me some Dexter Lumis.
Yes.
Especially when he's petting his face after he chokes him out.
Broke the hockey stick on Miz, choked him out, and petting his face. So, you know what they don't show after every attack? There are attacks on the Miz. They don't show how Miz left every situation.
Right.
Like when
they just kind of leave you there, assuming that Miz will get free.
Yes, but I hope we do get some explanation of what does happen. This is why. I mean, obviously, Miz getting attacked, sure, that would get you frightened. But why? Like, how does he get out of this?
So is Dexter playing with his food? Is what he's doing? Where he catches them and then releases them, and then catches them and releases them.
That, or do we get like what we got on NXT many moons ago when I believe it was Austin Theory that remember he escaped the confines of Dexter Lumis and came back in like beach attire and all
right,
happy.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, so we get back from commercial with what we just saw. We see Nikki ASH. What a nice jacket on, by the way. Nice ring jacket. And she's taking on what? Candice LeRae, the Poison Pixie, making her return to the WWE Universe and her first time on Monday Night Raw.
Speaking of the way, you had mentioned this before. Yep. We are how did you say it? One Indy Hartwell away from the way?
Yeah, away. Yeah, we're one Indy Hartwell away from having the whole group up on Raw.
Yes, great to see the Poison Pixie there on Raw, and they did mention that she's Johnny Gargano's wife.
She's Mrs. Wrestling, which is what I love to hear too. She's Mrs. Candice Wrestling.
Though, at the end of the match, Nikki ASH did tear off her mask, and I hope this brings back the
Nikki. Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
You notice this time Nikki ASH was out there without Mountain Dew drop?
Mm-hmm. Color scheme was different too.
Yep.
White rabbit stuff. I don't know. Just Nikki Cross.
Maybe. All right. The Judgment Day backstage, telling them that they're going to get AJ Styles to come around and join the Judgment Day. AJ Styles taking on Sami Zayn, the honorary Uce, pimping that shirt on Monday Night Raw with his really, honestly, they really did a great job in commentary. His protege / backup, Solo Sikoa, is backing up Sami, and Sami taking him under his wing.
Yes, they got each other's back. Absolutely.
Well, Sami Zayn wins with a pinfall with a haluva kick. It's hard for me to say haluva because it looks like hell of a, but it's haluva.
Isn't that what it was derived from?
Yes. It's just hard. Right.
I was like, I thought that.
That's what she said. All right. Oh. Now, Asuka, Alexa, and Bianca hanging out backstage when Candice LeRae rolls up and tells Bianca she hopes she shut Bayley up. And there comes Damage Control. I'm struggling with this, Linda. And they're getting multiple segments on TV. 3-person group, 3-person group. I don't like you. I don't like you. There's just nothing there for me. We need more.
I think they're building to it.
I
I
hope
think
so.
the highlight still is Bianca Bailey. I mean, they could do something with Io and Dakota being the tag champs if they want to put Alexa and Asuka as a tag team. But I think that if that was what they were going to do, they would have already went that route.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
honestly think they're in a holding pattern with them and don't know what to do. I think they're just kind of holding time for maybe Sasha and Naomi to come back. Because that literally will take these women and shoot that division to the moon. To the moon!
It's like, what show are we on?
Yeah, that's right. All right, Damian Priest and Matt Riddle. Remember, they playing up the angle that Priest and Riddle used to be the best friends. Damian Priest is not having it with Riddle, and
Like
Marcus has
best
got his head.
friends, like give the people what they want.
Got to give the people what they want. That's
Okay.
right. But I mean, he even mocks Riddle. He didn't know who he was. He was pretending to be somebody else with his head in the clouds. All good stuff. Matt Riddle winning by pinfall right after the pinfall, the Judgment Day, with the beatdown on Matt Riddle. And then finally, to clear it up at the end, on this day, Edge is back, a spear to Priest. Rhea Ripley pulls Dominic out. Finn rolls out to the floor, and the challenge has been laid. Edge challenging Finn Balor at Judgment Day in an I Quit match.
That was great to see Edge back. That was quite the damage that they did to his knee, but obviously it didn't do as much damage as we thought because I don't think he had a brace on. He ran out just fine, cleared out the ring, made his challenge. I'm excited for that one. It's great to have Finn Balor highlighted in a marquee match again as well. Since being in Judgment Day and it being against Edge, who I mean, it was Finn who did the coup de grace on his knee too. So
yeah,
excited to see this I Quit match. Very fitting given what hell they've put Edge through. Ever since that day in Green Bay, I was there.
Yep. All right, Linda, a lot of good stuff coming up. We got NXT tonight, excuse me. And we've got NXT discussion tomorrow morning with you and Matthew Thomas. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. So for Linda Cave, for Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call Meathead. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to talk to you guys tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.